The Alberta teacher strike is in full swing, and I believe Danielle Smith may have bitten off more than she can chew this time because these teachers are not backing down and they have the support of the country behind them. Now, before we get started, sorry for the slight hiatus that the channel took. We were experiencing some technical difficulties. I technically could not afford to have my hard drive fixed. So please subscribe. It's free. It's going to help us out. Let's get into it. This strike has been coming down the pipe for a while now. In fact, teachers have known about it as early as March. They're saying that the unions have been preparing teachers, letting them know to put aside some money, at least a month's salary, because it's about to get real. Why are they striking? Well, they have some pretty basic demands that boil down to three things. Getting a raise, which I think we can all understand, especially when you consider how underpaid these teachers are and how many years they have gone without getting a raise. They also want smaller class sizes and a cap on class sizes. They're recommending about 23 because currently we're seeing in the mid 30s to 40 plus students in a classroom. You heard me correctly. Up to 40 plus students in one classroom with one teacher and one teacher's aide. 40 students isn't even a classroom. Okay, that's a threat. I'm not going to be trapped in a room with 40 kids for 6 to 8 hours a day and not get the support I need to at least do my job effectively. At that point, I'm just trying to survive the day. I'm just trying to survive the day. People have such insane expectations. And third is resources for complexity. So in addition to not having the funding they need, not getting paid enough, not having classroom sizes that are reasonable, they also have no resources for what's called complexities. This means that if there is a student in the class that requires special attention, maybe they're not learning at the same pace as everyone else, maybe there's a language barrier, which is a real problem, teachers need to allocate more time to the student so that they can matriculate through the grades along with everyone else. If you continue to fall behind in the earlier grades, you're never going to catch up as a student. And then what? What's the benefit for anybody? That kid just matriculates through school, doesn't get an education, doesn't become a net positive to society, minimizes or limits the potential for advancement in the future. These teachers are asking for things that are going to benefit their students. And the response from the Alberta government is shameful, it is embarrassing, and it is revealing. They're playing this game where they're pretending to be the America of the North. You know what I mean? Maple MAGA, as some people have started calling them, which is seeming more and more appropriate because of the way they're acting. And we're going to get into some of the things that they're saying. But these are the things that teachers are asking for. Okay, now let's get into some of the reactions. And I wanted to highlight one in specific that really just ground my gears, if you know what I mean. Okay, CTV News reporting. The Alberta teacher strike has widened into a debate over classroom conditions, government priorities, and trust between the province and the Alberta's Teachers Association, or the ATA. Both sides say they want to improve education quality, but they disagree sharply on how to get there and whether the other side is anxious to find a consensus. I'm going to stop right there. BS reporting like this is really what is a big part of what's ruining this country. Both sides want to enhance the experience of students. Really. Let's get a little bit further into this. Education Minister Dmitry Nikolaides insists that the research does not support mandatory class size caps as a way to improve student performance. Let me go back and say that again. The research does not support mandatory class size caps as a way to improve student performance. If we're going to talk about class size caps and say 23 is an appropriate number, then the argument is, well, why not 22? Why not 24? It's really just an arbitrary number, he said. He said the studies only show measurable benefits when class sizes fall below 17 students, something he calls unrealistic given the province's rapid growth. We have a significant influx of people who are joining the provinces from other provinces and other countries. It's putting a lot of pressure on our classrooms, no question. My priorities are to work on hiring more teachers, hiring more EAs, educational assistants, building more schools so that every student has the best possible conditions. This man is trying to convince us that less students does not equal a better education experience. Because the studies say 17 is the optimal number and the teachers are asking for 23. Right now, the teachers have 40 students in their class and they're saying, please, government, can you reduce that number to 23? And the education minister is saying, well, since the data says 17 is the number, then I don't know, man, like 23? Why not 22? Why not 24? I mean, it's just kind of a made up number. Who cares? Is he serious? It's almost an insult to have to respond to something like this. In case it needs to be spelled out to you, 40 is the number we're dealing with now. 23 is less than 40. Yes, I know, 17 is even less than 23. But since we can't get to 17, why not get to 23? Because the idea is to get lower. Do you understand? If class sizes didn't matter, then why do people need tutors? Why are there private schools popping up all over Alberta, getting money from taxpayer dollars, by the way, getting like something like $450 million from taxpayer money? Why are they popping up all over the place advertising small class sizes? Since there's no real benefit, I mean, it doesn't take a genius or a study to understand that smaller class sizes, whether you reduce it by 10 or 20, it's gonna help. These teachers are trapped in a room with 40 of your children. In the year 2025, when these kids have access to the internet, TikTok, they're doing all these challenges and stuff, and they have to try to teach them how to read and write and function in society. And you're trying to say it doesn't matter if it's 40 students or 23 students, because if the idea 40 students with their hands in the air versus 23 students with their hand in the air, which class is going to get more attention? Which group of students are probably going to get their answers taken by the teacher? There is a finite amount of time in the day. It's not like the teacher can just sit there and answer all of the kids have to go home at some point. The teachers have to do other work, grade things, build the curriculum, all that other stuff. Watch Abbott Elementary. So if I have my hand in the air and I'm competing with 39 other schmucks, what chance do I have to get my teacher's attention? And 40 kids are not just sitting there facing the front, dying to learn and just asking questions. 40 students means 40 different realities in that room with you. Someone's in a bad mood, someone's sick, someone's getting bullied, someone's not getting along with their friends, somebody's trying to talk to their girlfriend, someone's passing notes, someone's on their phone. I mean, teaching is the challenge. And now you want to just pile a bunch of students. And then the people who work against improving our education system are going to be the same ones that complain when we have to constantly import our talent to this country, right? They're going to always be the one to complain, oh, there's so many immigrants moving here and, oh, maybe we should end. We don't have enough nurses graduating from our schools, enough STEM graduates from our schools. I'm talking science, technology, engineering, mathematics. We don't have enough of those students graduating from our schools. In fact, a lot of those students are coming from outside the country to study at our universities. And maybe if our teachers were given the time to address all of those hands in the air, we might get this. I hope these teachers don't let up. They are taking a pay cut. They're not getting paid during this strike. And the government has done everything they can to take away their bargaining power. So they've actually gone ahead with a lockout. The difference between a lockout and a strike, when a teacher is striking or when teachers are striking, they have the power to decide, am I going to go back to work? Am I going to do maybe, or are we going to do maybe a rotating strike so that some teachers can go to school on some days and strike on other days, and then other teachers can go to school on other days and strike, so that they can keep up the striking, keep up the picketing, but also find a way to work with your children, the students of Alberta, so that you can go to school part-time, get something, some homework, some assignments, something to keep you engaged so that all the pressure isn't on your parents. Those are the options you have when you're striking. When the government decides to lock you out, which is what they have done, that means that even if you wanted to do any of these things, even if you wanted to stop striking, even if you wanted to do rotational strikes, you no longer have the choice because they've taken that away from you. These are the same people who are going to go on and say, oh, we're looking out for the best interest of the students. How? By bringing their educators to their knees, making sure that the teachers who are teaching them are stressed about their bills? Is that how you're helping our students? Meanwhile, the government in Alberta voted to give themselves a raise. The height of hubris. These guys have a snack budget for meetings. They're over here running their mouth about teachers who have to deal with 40 kids. Meanwhile, they have a stipend for snacks during their meetings. Something like $200 for every meeting they're having. They're just we're paying for whatever lunch they're buying. And if this is per MLA or the legislative assembly members, if 4 or 5 of you are having a meeting together, do all of you get that money? Why not cut that stuff out? Why don't you guys take a pay cut and let's pay our teachers? This is a losing battle for the provincial government, I'm confident, because parents have gotten a taste of what it's like to not have their kids outside of the home for 6 to 8 hours a day. That was a godsend, parents have realized, because when the COVID pandemic hit, they had to be trapped in their own home with their own kids, with no escape, responsible for their education, responsible for their own jobs, Zoom meetings that were just out of control, all that stuff. Parents might have been getting a little comfortable with, the role of teachers, how important are teachers, what are they even doing anyways? Not anymore. After COVID, they understand, and they understand now why you're striking. Whatever you're paying them, it's not enough. Okay, whatever you're paying them, it's not enough. If you're a parent, you understand that. Because there's no way you're just going to deal with having however many kids you have now to just coming home finding there's 40 of them there and you have to give them all equal attention. This guy has kids, the education minister. I wonder how he would feel if his wife got pregnant and found out there's 40 kids up in there, like she was some sort of freshwater fish. Would it be manageable? Would you need help? Would you be begging for the opportunity to just make it so that only 23 of those fetuses were viable? Or would it not really matter until it was just like 17 or something? Talk sense. Oh, studies show. We've all been to school. Shut up. I know what it means to be in a room with 23 people versus 40 people. Have you ever tried to order food with a group of people? What a nightmare that is. Have you ever had to travel with a small group of people? What a nightmare that is. And your teachers are stuck in a room with 40 of you. And they have to make sure that you're passing tests, that you're understanding things, that you're ready for the next teacher that has to suffer the same fate next year. Come on, what are we talking about here? Don't let up. I hope you guys, as in the teachers, give them hell. And if you want to support the teachers, call your local representatives. Doesn't matter if you're in Alberta or not. Anywhere that there is a conservative holding a seat in the House of Commons, in the legislature, wherever, call them up and let them know how disgusted you are with what their party is doing, with the lack of support being shown to the teachers, and let them know that we are not about it. What has the government countered with? Yeah, sure, I'll give you a raise. I'll give you 12% over 4 years, 3% a year. Inflation, matching inflation? No, forget about it. Hype dream. You were asking for what? 5,000 teachers to help with the teacher shortage? I'll give you 3 over a few years. 3,000. You want help with complexities? Immigrants are the worst. Immigrants are the worst. You know what I mean? And honestly, there's private schools, so hopefully that's going to help relieve the burden. Private schools are going to help relieve the burden. And we're paying for those private schools. Alberta's paying for those private schools. Taxpayer money to the tune of $400 and something million is paying for those private schools. So instead of giving the teachers the money that they need to bolster the public education system, we're moving to privatize it. But we're gonna make it so that public money is used for these private and often for-profit schools. Wow. The insult that Alberta teachers must be feeling right now. It is no wonder they're in the streets. It is no wonder there is a protest of 50,000 teachers out in the streets, supported by parents, supported by their communities, because this is BS. This is B to the S. We're going to continue to cover this. Lots more happening, lots more to talk about. Subscribe if you haven't. It's free. It helps. It means everything to us. Bred in captivity.